Are you comfortable in your own skin? It's probably a pretty strange question, huh? Or maybe that's what you think. You know, it's wild that you can be a full grown adult, paying your bills on time, taking care of family responsibilities, and still not feel comfortable with who you are. Yes, introverts, I'm talking to you. You're probably wondering, how do I know? Well, this is a road I was on for a very long time. I had no idea my being uncomfortable was simply because I was an introvert who just kept trying to fit into a world of extroverts. I felt like a total misfit. Hi, I'm Kate. I'm an introvert expat living in Indonesia, and I make videos about living the best life you can, whether you're an introvert, an extrovert, an expat, a retiree, a digital nomad, whatever. You know, not everyone in the whole world are extroverts, but that's how it always seemed to me. And the expectations placed on me reinforced the idea that I just needed to come out of my shell and I'd be just fine. No one, not friends, not family, understood anything about being an extrovert. Yeah, I often wanted to hang out with my dog and a book with absolutely no small talk, but there was still that nagging little voice inside my head prompting me to be more social. I can't believe how many years I lived with that nagging voice. It had been brainwashed into me and kept trying to get me out to social events. One time when I was a teacher in Los Angeles, friends of mine were having a party. I got in my car and I went to the spot, drove around the block over and over again, but I just couldn't go in. And those were friends, not strangers. Does that sound familiar? If so, you may be an introvert in a very extrovert centric world. And today I want to talk about something many of us have trouble with: getting comfortable with yourself, getting comfortable with who you are, not just tolerating yourself, but actually liking your quiet, weird, thoughtful, brilliant, introverted self. Because that's the first thing every introvert needs to do: get comfortable with themselves. And no, it doesn't come naturally or quickly. It took me years and years before I even recognized that I was an introvert. I was in my mid-50s when I realized I was an introvert. You and I both grew up in a world where being outgoing was rewarded with gold stars and popularity. But sitting quietly and thinking got us labeled as shy or weird. Yeah, everyone thought something was wrong with me. At least that's how it felt to me. Took me years to get comfortable with being an introvert. And yeah, I'm still working on it. It's not finished. So how about you? Are you an introvert who's gotten a lifetime of subtle and maybe not so subtle messages telling you that your natural way of being isn't quite right? It's no wonder you sometimes hesitate to fully accept yourself and why you still try to fit in, at least a little. But we introverts operate differently. I need time alone to recharge. Yes, I can't think of what to say next when the chatter is mindless small talk. Yes, I overthink email replies before hitting send. But that's me, and I finally accept it. And when I finally stopped trying to edit myself for other people, I got comfortable with myself, at least a little, and stopped second guessing myself, at least a little. I'll probably never completely finish doing this, but at least I'm on the way. So, how do you do that? How do you go from feeling awkward about being an introvert to fully owning it like the fabulous, mysterious introvert that you are? Well, first of all, stop apologizing for turning down invitations to group events. Seriously, you're not broken because you don't want to go to happy hour or join the neighborhood scavenger hunt. Needing to avoid group events is not a crime. You don't owe anyone an apology for skipping the potluck. You don't have to lie and say you're busy. You can just say, sorry, I won't be there. And guess what? The world doesn't end. Another thing is to spend enough time recharging. Maybe you do that with journaling, or maybe it's just spending time alone with your dog or cat or yourself. Maybe it's sitting on your porch and watching the world go by. Whatever you choose, make it non-negotiable. Don't treat your recharging time like something you have to fit in after you've been productive. When I was leading group tours, I spent every evening alone in my hotel room, recharging. I guess that was when it finally sunk in that I was an introvert. And that was my mid-50s. Before that, I'd spent too much time forcing myself to do social things, even though they made me so uncomfortable. As a tour director, yeah, I had to be with people most of the day, but I was able to be alone in the evenings, recharging. And then accept your own kind of confidence. You know, it's easy to look around at the loud guy in the room and think, oh, he's so confident. But guess what? He's not. He's just craving attention. Confidence isn't loud. The guy in the meeting who interrupts everyone isn't confident, but like I said, he's just craving, or she may be craving attention. Confidence, on the other hand, is understanding what matters to you. It's showing up in your own way and not needing attention from others to validate who you are. Let's be real. Extroverts are not better. They're just different. Being the life of the party might look like fun from the outside. But you know what's also fun? Leaving that party early and not crying in the car from sensory overload. And you also have to decide what success is for you. This one's huge. If you keep measuring yourself by extrovert standards, you're always going to come up short. So stop asking, am I social enough? And start asking yourself, does that party really matter to me? If not, don't go. Why do we find it so difficult to say no? It's just two simple letters. You don't have to give a speech every time you decline something. You're not on trial. No is a complete sentence. Will people be confused? Maybe. Will they get over it? Absolutely. Just make sure you build a life that matches your own energy. Design your life for you. Don't try to squeeze yourself into someone else's idea of what they think should be a good life. This could mean remote work, shorter social windows, nature walks instead of group networking breakfasts, one-on-one coffee dates instead of dinner parties. Your comfort zone is not a weakness. So here's the thing. Your comfort isn't something you have to earn. No, it's something you claim when you stop trying to be more extroverted. Yeah, stop trying to meet the world's noise with more noise. Meet it with your calm, your thoughtfulness, your refusal to play a role that doesn't fit you. Think about all the energy you waste trying to fit in the role that you think you need to fill. What a real waste. Instead, get comfortable with yourself so you can stop wasting energy pretending to be more social. And when you stop pretending, that's when your real life begins. You deserve to be comfortable with your introvert life. If that self would rather be at home alone, then do that and love it. And thanks for letting me share my ideas with you. And I hope you'll leave a comment to share what works for you. YouTube loves it when you make a comment on videos. And I love it too. I love to hear what you have to say. Thanks, and bye for now.